Is bad credit holding you back from buying a car or maybe even a house? There are things you can do to clean up your credit history. Andrea Watkins is live right now in our newsroom with our advice panel. Good morning, everyone.
Well, good morning, Melissa. We've got experts here fielding your questions this morning. Consumer protection attorney John Mastriani and certified public accountant Bob Martin. And you guys are so fired up about this chat this morning. I love it. You guys have already seen this question, but let me tell the viewers what the question is that we're fielding right now. Kevin is asking from Facebook, just wondering whether or not, what is the fastest way to remove some bad items on my credit? Went through rough times during 2008, 2010, and have bad spots on my credit as a result. I want it removed. How do I do that? Boy, that's a great question. You want to start with that one, John?
Yeah, I do. Well, first of all, you have to be careful about removing the things from your credit because he's talking about 2008 and 2010. So if he does try to remove things from his credit, the credit bureaus may contact some of his creditors. And if he's got some issues in 2010 that he hadn't taken care of yet, that might alert him to sue him because a lot of times there's a 4-year statute of limitations with that. But the best way, if he wants it removed, number one, he needs to pull his own credit report. He needs to look and he needs to see the reasons why he needs it removed. Is he going to be buying something recently, or does just want things off his credit? Because there's issues in timing involved. Wouldn't you say, Bob?
Yes, timing is very important. And another important thing is once your credit is damaged, don't try overnight to rebuild it. Some people go out and open up a number of small accounts and then make regular payments on those. If they see a bunch of new accounts being opened, that could cause a problem also. You need to rebuild your credit history gradually. Be very careful about that.
Well, I'm curious, John, how do you remove something from your credit report? I mean, you don't just go online and then delete it.
No, well, there's ways you can dispute it, but as I say, if you are disputing it or in a dispute process, it could be removed short-term during the dispute. But then again, you could be alerting your creditors. Some of them might say, for example, oh, Mr. Kevin here, he hasn't made this payment, and now we're getting disputes here. We need to try and tighten up the collection efforts.
Well, I'm not going to speak for Kevin, but I'm going to say, what if Kevin doesn't really have any way to dispute this particular issue? I mean, you know, it seems like he's acknowledging he had rough times, he couldn't pay it at that time. So what would be there to dispute?
Well, there's issues with respect to you can go and you can actually talk to the creditor. Sometimes the debt has even been sold to a different creditor, and you make some type of payment arrangement where you can get what's called the trade line deletion, where it will be taken off the credit. Sometimes the amount is improper, and sometimes there might have even been some unlawful collection activities, which will give you some leverage in order to get it removed.
Okay. Let me just show everybody what goes into the credit score that everybody worries so much about. You got 35% based on payment history, 30% on amounts you owe, 15% on the length of the credit history, 10% on new credit, and also 10% on the types of credit. Bob, you're going to help us break all that down?
Yes, we are. In particular, we're going to talk about what is good debt and what is bad debt. That can have a big impact upon your credit score.
All debt is bad debt as far as I'm concerned, but I know you guys are the experts. Okay, next time we're going to be fielding a question about negotiating medical bills, so we'll have that to look forward to at the bottom of the hour. Back to you, Melissa.
You know what, if people really listen to this advice and make these changes, it could really help their lifestyles and improve it a lot, Andrea.
Absolutely. These guys are answering questions I didn't even know had answers. So if a lot of people are stumped at home, got to tune in.
All right, and we hope that they'll send them questions on our Facebook fan page, too. Thanks, Andrea.